Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another call for this week. My name is Julius. It's a Friday, and today we basically now come into robotic settings. You have some people in your team that are not getting results because they don't know how to set their robot well. The time is now. Let's share the link, and in the next few minutes from now, I'll basically be opening up the session and getting you started to give you a clear understanding. As we wait, I wish you a nice stay as we wait, and I will basically now take you through the robotic settings. The robotic settings. Be able to create a clear picture of the future of our opportunity. All right, that's said and done, ladies and gentlemen. Share the link, and within the next 4 minutes, I'll be back here, ladies and gentlemen, to basically and purely get started. Happy to see you, Leader Doris Angel from that side of the European side. Happy to see you, Leader Eunice from Kenya, Leader Kojo. See you, Ariho Brian from Barara. He's leading our team that side. Happy to see you, Mr. Kale, JK Daniel, Mr. Chigundu Jimmy, Lindwe Axba, Mama G, Naboth, Joyce Ban, Richie, Wealth Queen. Happy to see you all, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for joining us today. Let us meet again in the next 4 to 3 minutes from now. Thank you so much. Right, it's the exact time. Let us get in and let us get started. My name is Julius, and I'm going to share my screen right away. I've already done the welcome notes for those that came in early. So I will not go back to welcoming anyone into the call today. I did that long time. So basically now just share my screen and go to the robot. Today we are talking about robotic settings. Take note of the settings I'm going to talk about today. They might be very, very important on the Monday Zoom call, all right? They might be very, very important on the Monday Zoom call. All right. I'll be doing a special Zoom on Monday. I'll not explain details about it here, but I'll be doing a special Zoom on Monday, explaining an amazing strategy that can allow you make $1 million in the remaining days of the year, right? I'll just keep it as short as that. But on Monday, I think I'll be sharing that strategy. That strategy, it has power to change someone's life purely in trading. Okay, but I'm not into that today. But the training I'm doing today is responsible to make the Monday sharing a success one, right? Okay. You know, I have a theme that says proper planning prevents poor performance. So the Monday sharing will be attached to today's sharing. So what I teach today will be important, very important on Monday. So on Monday, I may not go so much into this, all right? I may not go back to what I'm teaching today. I'll just share the strategy on Monday. Now let's get in and talk about the robot settings. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, first and foremost, for Monday, let me start off from here. Go to your Google Play Store. Go to your Google Play Store. Download this application. Go to your Google Play Store and download this app. Go to your Google Play Store and be able to download the app on your screen. Go to Google Play Store and be able to download the app on your screen. Go to Google Play Store and download the app on your screen. If you are successful, type 1 in the chat. If you are successful, type 1 in the chat. If you are successful, type 1 in the chat. If you are successful, type 1 in the chat. If you are successful, type 1 in the chat. If you are successful, type 1 in the chat. If you have seen the app, you are successful with that step, type 1 in the chat. Type a 1 in the chat. Okay, make sure. Type 1 in the chat if you are successful. You are successful. Type a 1 in the chat. Okay. So we are done with the first part, right? So let's go to the next part. Let us go to the next party. Okay, the next part is to open it up. I'll explain this in detail on Monday, not now. Okay. The Royalq robot is a quantitative robot. The Royalq robot is a quantitative robot. The Royalq robot is a quantitative robot. Sure, it is. And this robot has power to trade 24 hours. Just a minute. Okay, I hope now I'm safe. So I'm saying the Royalq robot has basically, it is a quantitative trading bot, and it has power to trade for you 24 hours. All right, now we are going to go into some little mathematics. You're going to go into some little mathematics, all right? I'll expound this on Monday. If you are using your robot with your first buying amount as $15 and your take profit, like I'm going to expound this on Monday on how this will be possible for you. Your take profit is 3% for the next 300 days. By the end, if you only use $15, right? What I mean by this is this, okay? Let me explain it. You trade a coin, you enter from here with $15 only. And from here, the market rises without going down. And it gives you a profit of 3% of your $15 for the next 300 days. If you have understood that, let me repeat it again. What you see above here means, let me repeat it again. Your capital, your first buying amount is $15. Without the market going down from your entry, the market rises 3%, and the robot sells, and it gives you 3% of $15 for the next 300 days. If you have understood that, type a 2 in the chat for me. If you have understood that I've just talked about right now, type a 2 in the chat for me. Type a 2 in the chat before I expound it a little bit. I'm a little bit slow. If you have understood that, type for me a 2 in the chat. A 2 in the chat. Type for me a 2 in the chat. Just 2 in the chat. I want to make sure that someone is understanding. Good. What you see above here means you enter from here. Your first buying amount is $15. This coin doesn't go down in a minute. It rises by 3%. Your robot sells for the next 300 days, meaning your first buying amount is 15 for every trade you pick for the next 300 days. Let us see. How much profit will you make? You will make $100,000 $6,461. It will start small on your first day, and your capital will keep on growing. We want to maximize the 72 coins in Royalq. Yes, sir. By the end of that's how you make. But if your first buying amount is $20, 141,000. What if your first buying amount is 25? 177,000. What if your first buying amount is $50? $354,873. What if your first buying amount is $100? $700,000, $9,746. What if your first buying amount is $200? $1.4 million. What if your first buying amount is $500? $3.5 million. What if your first buying amount is $1,000? $7 million. What if your first buying amount is $10,000? $70 million. What if your first buying amount is $100,000? $709 million. I'll be expounding this on Monday morning. All right, that's it and done. I want to go to a very sensitive topic that will be important before I come up on Monday, all right? A very sensitive topic that is important before I come and back this up on Monday, all right? Before I come and back this up on Monday, okay? All right, who's excited? Who's excited about getting more details about this? It's sweet and nice. Okay, you know, success must be backed up with strategy. Someone to be successful, they need to have a strategy. They need to have a strategy. Okay. Right, let me now go to my Royalq application. And let us first create an understanding. So, okay, so we shall start from here. Open up my Royalq. Wow. Good. Okay, so I'm going to log out here. I'm going to stop sharing, first log into my account. Ooh. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. All right. Some morning motivation to those that are ready to take Royalq serious. I'll just share my back office. I'll just share my back office morning motivation. See if you are ready to take this Royalq business serious. Someone needs some morning motivation. All right, let's check up. Yeah, $472. Right, $472. That's 1.7 million Ugandan shillings. If you are ready to take Royalq as a serious business, that is for you. All right, let's now go to our training for today. Yeah, it is called minute per minute, second per second earnings, right? Yeah, sure. This is one of the best businesses I got myself involved into. And if someone treats it seriously, I believe it can pay them crazy. All right. So we want to get started. I thought I was having a running coin. Oh, no. Okay. So our first step is to learn how to set our robot well for the results. So we come here on board strategy. This one next. Choose any coin to trade. Wow. Oh, people in T-Fuel, I see good money. This coin has gone high by 40%. Okay. And you find a coin to trade. I don't know any now, but I'll just pick any. Let me pick GMT. I want to go to the explanation, but just allow me just look at this coin. Just allow me look at this coin. Just a minute. Okay, so allow me just set up this trade. Before we get started, I'll confirm this trade later, but just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Let me set up just a trade. I'm not sure. That's why I'll just set it and leave it. I'll confirm it later. But if at all it takes up my preset, it will be good business. Okay. All right. I just wanted to have a running trade. I pray it does. All right. It's here in a preset. Okay. Now the first step is to pick a coin to trade. You tap on martingale, tap on next. Then maybe the coin to trade is maybe the coin to trade is, let me say, Litecoin, right? So you pick up Litecoin. You must be able to understand what you see on your screen to be able to win. So I'll start from here. We have what you call the position amount. Now let me use the position amount. It's the total amount of money that you have so far invested in that particular coin. Then we have position quantity. This is the number of coins that you have so far bought, the number of coins that you have so far bought according to the capital you have so far invested. We have what you call the average price. I needed to make sure that I help you understand the power of the robot to sell depends on how far is the average price closer to the current price. The distance in between determines the return rate. If the return rate is negative, that is what we call floating loss. If the return rate is negative, that is what we call floating loss. It is the percentage that is in between the average price and the current price. What is the average price? The average price is the price that the robot calculates when you enter the market and when the robot buys more. Whenever the robot buys more, it moves the average price closer to the current price. Point to note, it is deadly to trade without margin calls, which I'm going to explain. It is deadly to trade without margin calls. If you are still with me up to there, before I continue, type for me a 1 in the chat. Someone says my network is very poor. Is it true? Okay, we go. Great, thank you. The ability for you to win a trade depends on how far your average price is closer to your current price. And this is better done by the robot with what we call number of margin calls. So here on top, the robot indicates the number of times it has been able to buy more quantity. It has been able to buy more quantity, the number of times that are moving the average price closer to the current price. If you're okay with these first 4, you could type for me a 2 in the chat. If you're okay with those 6, type for me a 2 in the chat. If you are okay now. If you are not, type a no. If you're okay with those 6 on top, you have understood what they mean. If you don't understand what they mean, please ask a question. What don't you understand? I said, some people are typing a 6. What does 6 mean? If you have been able to understand these 6 parameters, what each means, if you have not understood, type what you don't understand. You cannot tell me to repeat everything. You are unfair. Unless you tell me to return you back to the YouTube channel. You tell me what you don't understand. Okay, position quantity. Okay, let me explain this one of position quantity. Let me explain. Let me clear. What is position quantity? Position quantity is the number of coins your robot has been able to buy according to the total amount of money your robot has been able to invest in this particular coin. Okay, this one says, I hope that one of position quantity, okay. This one says average price versus current price. All right. When you use Royalq to trade, whenever your robot buys, it creates an average price. The current price is the price of the coin. But when your robot buys, it creates what we call an average price. Whenever your robot buys more into what we call margin call numbers, the number of times the robot has bought, it moves the average price closer to the current price. And when the current price is above the average price, you are into what we call floating profit, FP. And your return rate here will be positive. If the average price is higher than the current price, your return rate here will be negative, and that condition will be called floating loss, because the return rate percentage is the percentage between the average price and the current price. I hope that one we are done. Okay, Charles Ruanga, are you okay with the now? Are you okay now? Charles Ruanga, are you okay now? There is another person who asked position quantity. I hope you are now okay. Let me know in the chat. Now let's go to the next area. Let's go to the next area. The next area has also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. It has also have 5 buttons. The first button is what we call the cycle. It is either when you are just opening up, that's why I'm restarting it afresh. Just a minute. I see my phone is telling me my battery is not okay. Sorry for that. So let me, okay, this is how it comes like. There is this area written on one shot. What does the word one shot mean? It means that if I set my trade, then I come and I tap on one shot will disappear from my screen. One shot will disappear from my screen. One shot will disappear from my screen, and the word here will become cycle. But to know that in which strategy this coin is will be shown on top. It means that this coin is only one shot. What does the word one shot means? One shot means that the robot, whatever it has bought, when the market rises, according to the take profit, the robot should sell and not buy it again. But when I tap on it and I put it on cycle, here down, it will be, the word will be one shot. But the strategy that the coin is in, or the mode it is in, it is on a cycle. What does the word cycle mean? Cycle means the robot buys, it sells and buys again. It sells and buys again. It sells and buys again. That is what we mean by one shot. Let me go to the next button called sell. Okay, now this one needs to work. Okay, let me start up a trade. Let me start up a trade. Okay, let me start up this trade. Okay. Because I'm not sure about this, I'll just keep it at that. Okay, so I'll use this area here. Now, The word sell, if I tap on the sell button, and I tap on market price, the robot will give me position amount, the amount of money in the coin, the average price. Now, what you see on my screen is, okay, you see now, it's gonna show us two directions. The average, the current price is above the average price. And the condition we are in here is called floating profit. Let me first try to show it. You see? Because the average price is above, You see now the condition we have is floating loss. Now the condition we have is floating profit. The reason why there is floating profit, ladies and gentlemen, and what that means, let me open it again. The current price is above the average price. And this brings this return rate that is in negative and in positive, sorry. But because the current price is above the average price, this condition that you see in our screen is what we call floating profit. But when the average price is greater than the current price, this will be negative, and the condition we shall have here on our screen will be called floating loss. Are we together? If we are together, could you type for me a 2 in the chat? If we are together, could you type for me a 2 in the chat? Someone is saying, I can't see your screen. Someone is saying, I can't see your screen. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me go back to my trade. Now, okay, let me first return this. When I tap on my sell button, I'll show it twice. And I tap on the word market price. Okay, thank you, Jude. Okay, thank you, Jude. Okay. I'll not share that here, but yeah, all right. Okay, I'll not share, but thank you. I've seen your message, Jude. All right. Okay. When I tap here on sell button and I tap 25, it means I want to sell off 25% of the position quantity of the number of coins. You are not selling off 25% of your profit. No, you are selling off 25% of the number of coins you bought. And it will show you here, 6 coins will be sold. 50%, 12 coins will be sold. 75%, 18 coins will be sold. 100%, 25 of them will be sold. That is when you use the sell button. I'm going to change the strategy mode, but I will explain later. When your strategy mode is not in this first area, like I'll explain this one, when you put whole warehouse mode on the top of your coin, I'll explain this later. On the top of your coin, the word here will be cross margin. When you tap on your strategy mode, and it is in the whole warehouse mode, I'll explain later. The word on top will be cross margin. The word on top will be cross margin. When you put in the sub-bin mode, 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 the word on top will be isolated margin. When you put in the sub-bin mode, the word on top will be isolated margin. When you put in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement, I think they have removed it, but at first it was isolated margin real-time. But I think now it will always remain isolated margin. Now, when you tap on the sell button, when you tap on the sell button, when your coin is either in the sub-bin mode or it is in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement, the sell button will be different. It will now not give you how much percentage you want to sell. You just tap on market price and sell, and everything will move out. I'm going to explain the difference. You just tap on market price if you want to sell manually, and then you confirm, then you sell everything. This will depend on the strategy mode. But if my strategy mode was the whole warehouse mode, when I tap on sell, it will give me power of how much I want to sell of this coin. And I can be able to decide that. Before I go to the buy button, if you are still following, I'm moving very slow and understanding. If you are still following, if you are still following and understanding, if you are still following and understanding, you could type for me a 1 in the chat before I go to the buy button. If I go to the buy button, if you are understanding, if I go to the buy button, this is when you want to manually get yourself involved, right? You set your robot, but you want to manually, personally get yourself involved. Right, let's go to the buy button. Let's go to the buy button. Now let me tap on the buy button. There is a challenge, and I want this to get sorted. If you listen to me very well, to my explanation, and listen to what I say currently, not what you want to know now, you'll be able to understand by moving with my pace. Let me repeat that statement again. If you help and listen to me currently, to what I'm talking about now, than what you want to see in the future, you'll be able to follow and understand what I say. Please keep your understanding to the current information I'm sharing. I'm going to share what you want to know, but move with my pace. Okay, move with my pace. Don't reach the end when I'm at the start. Okay, are we together? All right, okay. Now let's go to the buy button. Let's go to the buy button. Okay, I hope now when someone sees now this is in floating profit. This is in floating profit. I want to remind you, let me get back to where I started from. I want to remind you, back to my calculator. If your first buying amount is $15 and you only take 3% for the next 300 days that are about to finish this year, by the end of the year, if you are consistent, you'll make $100,000, $6,461. I'm going to explain that. So when you see floating profit, you can be happy. Let's go to the buy button. The buy button displays some important features. 1, the position amount. 2, the average price. 3, the position quantity. 4, the current price. 5, the position profit and loss percentage. Now, it also creates, now this is what is happening right now. But when you put in a certain amount, where I'm going to show you, it will create a new average price, an estimated profit and loss, new ones. Now let's try. When your coin is in floating profit and you decide to become greedy, you feel like this coin might deliver more, and you come here, market price. And even if I put here $15, what happens? I create a new high average price and I also reduce my profit instantly. Even if I come here and I put $500, I create a new high average price, which is sometimes it might be higher than the current price, or sometimes it might be lower than the current price. But you create a new high average price, which could definitely take you into floating loss or lower your percentage take profit. So you tap on buy, put in your money. Only do it when you are in floating loss. Don't do it when you are in floating profit. Who has seen that? Type for me a 2 in the chat if you have seen that. Type for me a 2 in the chat. No, you can sell either in the whole warehouse mode or in the sub-bin mode. It's up to you. Sometimes, some people want to get into profit higher. What do? They come and put in some more money, then they enter floating loss. Then their coins don't sell because they were greedy. Because they created a new average price. So only come on the buy button when you are in floating loss, not in floating profit. Because, for example, if I come here and tap on market price, because, ladies and gentlemen, look at when you are buying. You are now buying at the current ladies and gentlemen, can we see that? You are buying at the current price. So you are creating a new average price. So if I tap on and I put in $50, I want you to see the difference now. Look here, ladies and gentlemen. This was the old average price. And this one is the new average price. Type a 1 if you see the difference now. You are creating a new average price. You are creating a new average price, which is bigger from the first one you had, meaning you are making your journey to success a little bit longer. That's why Royalq introduced the margin calls. Don't become greedy. Be patient as you trade. I'll leave that area. Now, imagine, ladies and gentlemen, okay, someone says I should use the dark mode. I don't know if I use the dark mode of my phone. Is this affecting your eyes? Okay, maybe I can. What will people be? Is it visible? I don't use the dark mode of my phone. Can you be able to see? I understand. I understand why Tom asked. Is it okay now? I understand why you asked because I know it's challenging. Okay. So no, Tom, if this light is enough for you, I personally don't like the dark mode. I don't like the dark mode, but if this light that I've changed is enough for you, you can type for me. I've changed my light settings. I don't like the dark mode. I don't use it. Yeah, I know it is there when I come down here. Okay. Yeah, it could basically be able to help you, but if it's okay, right? Okay. Now, what I'm trying to share is a little bit practical. It's a little bit practical. Okay, this would favor you, and I think you'll be able to see. Right? Let me just make it like that. Right? I hope Tom, you okay now, right? Okay. Hey, Tom is my friend. Okay, so I hope you're okay, my brother. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, it is important, let's get there, to always be patient with the market. Imagine if I had become greedy about this coin that it was going into profit. You have seen yourself that later it comes back to floating loss. So it is patience that is important in your trading. Some of you, when you set up margin calls, you reach a time and feel like maybe you are missing out on profit. And you come back, tap on buy, tap on market price, put in some more money, let me say $100, and you take yourself in floating loss. After I've done it immediately, then the market goes down and the coin goes in floating loss, yet you can be able to use margin calls. Okay, that done, let me go to the area called stop margin call. When we tap on stop margin call, it means you are instructing your robot not to buy any further of the margin calls. Now, let me go to the strategy mode. The robot uses three main strategies to trade, and everybody should be able to understand these three for effective results. The robot uses the whole warehouse mode. Is that Doris saying something? Yes, Tom is in your team. Theodoris, Tom is in your team. You'll chat me if you are interested. You want to know. Tom is in your team. Tom's come from your team, Theodoris. Yes, he is. All right. Okay. Okay. Whole warehouse mode is that whatever the robot has bought, from margin call number 1, margin call number 2, margin call number 3, and margin call number 4, margin call number 1, margin call number 2, margin call number 3, margin call number 4. The robot sells everything at once. So the first 4 margin calls are into the whole warehouse mode. This is important to note that even the take profit we put on the signals we send, is only responsible for what the robot has bought from margin call number 1 to margin call number 2, unless, ladies and gentlemen, maybe you set up 10 margin calls and leave your strategy in the whole warehouse mode. You can set up 10 margin calls, or 20, or 50, or 100, and leave your strategy in the whole warehouse mode. Whatever the robot will have bought, the robot will sell it at once. Now let me go to sub-bin mode. Sub-bin mode makes margin call number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 999, each call independent. But sub-bin mode means the robot buys call number 5. The market rises. The robot sells margin call number 5. It returns your capital, but it uses your profit to move the average price. This one we talked about here. To move the average price closer to the current price. To move the average price closer to the current price. The sub-bin mode, this one means when the robot sells, the sub-bin mode means that when the robot sells, it returns your capital it used. Let me say the robot used the $40. It will return the $40 in your USDT, but use the profit it has made for you to move the average price closer to the current price. The sub-bin mode means from margin call number 5, 6, 7, up to 999, when the robot sells, it returns your capital and your profit. Let me say for margin call number 5. It returns your capital and profit for margin call number 6. It returns your capital and profit for margin call number 7, margin call number 8, margin call number 9, up to margin call 999. If you have understood me up to there, could you type a 1 in the chat? You now know the strategies. Type a 1 in the chat. Now I have a question for you. From our understanding from the start, because the first 4 margin calls, they are in the whole warehouse mode. You cannot change them. But the 5th call and below can be either in the sub-bin mode or in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement. Of these 2 strategies, which one is the best? Of these 2 strategies, That's why it is recorded. You don't need it to cram. You don't need it to cram. You need it to understand what it means. According to our understanding, according to my explanation, which one of these two, according from where we started from, which one of these two is the best? That when you set your strategy, according to what we have been studying from when we started, which one is the best? Okay, all right, I've seen your answers. Okay, so the sub-bin mode, this one is the best. Why? Yes, it does not give you your profit. This one is the best. It does not give you your profit. It uses your profit to move the average price closer to the current price. So it can buy the fifth call. It can buy the fifth call, ladies and gentlemen, sell it, use your profit to move the average price closer to the current price, buy it again, sell it. It is making sure, ladies and gentlemen, it is making sure that it is all the time moving your average price closer to the current price. The ultimate goal of trading, ladies and gentlemen, the ultimate goal of trading, ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat that statement. The ultimate goal of trading, ladies and gentlemen, is to sell a coin you have bought. Now, let me first remind you again. We are now in floating loss. Imagine, instead of me using margin calls, I had decided to put all my money at once. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very slow at my training today. Imagine, you people who put in all your money, imagine I had put all my money in this coin. It has moved away from floating profit to now floating loss, and it has a return rate of 0.67. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, imagine, ladies and gentlemen, I had put all my money once in the market. What would be happening to my trade? Now you see, my robot has bought more. Ladies and gentlemen, my robot has bought more, and it has moved my average price closer to the current price. And it has even reduced my return rate. I have a question. Is it important? Is it important for you to set your robot with margin calls? I have a question. I have a question. According to what you have seen with your experience in my chart, is it important? Now, the total amount of money in my robot is $29. My robot has so far bought one margin call. I have a question. Is it important to set your robot with margin calls? One of the reasons why most of you are suffering is because you want to be rich today. When you don't set with margin calls, you see, you will be now struggling with floating loss. But every time, whenever your robot buys more, it has so far bought one time, it moves the average price closer to the current price and reduces your return rate. If you are so far okay, up to here, 1 and 2, before I go to the settings of the robot, if you are so far okay with 1 and 2, could you type a 1 in the chat? Could you type a 1 in the chat? before I go to the last sharing. If you are so far okay with setting up your robot with 1 and 2, it is not someone is telling me I can't grasp everything. I'm not here to help you grasp everything. I'm here to help you understand. I don't share with you because I know every icon on my phone. I share with you because I understand. Please, this is not cramming. This is understanding. When you understand, you trade better. When you understand, you win every trade you enter. Okay? Now, let's go to our trade settings. Okay, now let me just run down here a little bit. On your screen, in some signals, you'll have what you call fast preset buy-in price. Thank you so much. This means, ladies and gentlemen, this means, ladies and gentlemen, this means, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a certain price. There is a certain price that you want your robot to start picking your trades from. For example, if you are setting a trade, I don't want to pause. Okay, let me pause. When you are setting a trade, when a signal is sent to you in the different groups, and this signal is saying a preset price, you are trying to enter a certain price where you are saying, when the market comes down to this price, let my robot buy. That is what it means. So when you tap on the price area, and maybe I put in 0.5, it means that when my robot gets at that price, let it buy. When you tap on the drop rate, when you tap on the drop rate and say, let me say 3%, it means that I'm instructing my robot that when the market falls by 3%, it should buy at this price. When I tap confirm and tap or start, it means that my robot to buy, it will need to wait for the market to follow at this price. Okay, you don't need to learn everything in one day. Okay, let's go to call margin trigger price. According to how you set up your margin call, your robot will show you the next price when it will be triggered, and it will also show you the price when your take profit will be done. Here it will be showing you the first, now here it is waiting for trigger, just showing what is happening. Here it will show you first buying amount. Here it will show you your take profit for call 1, 2, 3, and 4. But if the market rises to 2% when it has only bought one time, the robot will sell. If the market rises by 2% when the robot has found when it has bought 3 margin calls, the robot will sell. Margin call limit, these are the number of margin calls your robot will show you. Earning callback, this means that I'm going to show you the other side, and buying callback, I'm going to show you the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to request you for more 15 minutes so that we go to trade settings so that I don't repeat this on Monday. Could we, is it okay? Can you give me some more 15 minutes? Or we can stop here and come back on Monday. Me, I will be okay with it. I have no problem. If you can allow me more 15 minutes, okay? More 15 minutes. You could give me some thumbs up. Let me look at number of people that are saying yes for 15 minutes. Some hands, those are saying yes. Let me see some hands. Let me see some hands so that I can count. I have one. Use hands, okay? Use hands. I have 2 hands. I have 2 hands. Use hands, please. 3 hands. How many are we? We are 99, 7 hands are saying continue. 8, 9. I need at least 50%. I need at least 50%. I just continue for the next 15 minutes. 12, 13. Use hands, please. So the rest are not interested. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, good, 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 good. Let's go to the next part, the trade settings. Let's go to the next part, the trade settings. This is one of the important areas for everybody to be able to understand. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. So many people, when they are trading, they fight their capital. Let me give you an example. In the morning today, I dropped a signal myself. And this signal was called USDT. I want to show you something. Someone should pay some attention on my screen. When I dropped app, my robot bought the first time. My robot bought the second time. The third time, my robot sold. Now, why is it that some people's robots sell and other people's robots don't sell? The problem is in the settings of their robots. Can I repeat this? Okay, I think I will share. Someone in one of my chats is inboxing me, Julius. You refuse to share with us the airdrop. Okay, at the end of this call, I'll share the airdrop. I'm not sure on how stable it is. That's why I didn't share it generally. But I'll share. I'll share at the end of the call. Don't worry. I'll share the airdrop. I'll share the airdrop. Okay. Don't worry, my brother. I'm not sure on how stable it is, right? But you can try your luck. The beauty is you don't lose your phone. So I'll share the airdrop at the end of the call and show you the steps, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to share the airdrop. No big deal. No, after the call, I'll share. I don't know how sure it is, but I can share. It's not a big deal. All right. I want to keep this only Royalq, but I'll share. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've answered you. Okay. What I'm saying is, look, I shared a coin called app. I'm going to come back to the settings. It bought the first time. Look at this. This was the average price. It bought the second time, lowered the average price, increased the quantity. But my robot was able to sell faster, yet some of you on the same coin, you on floating loss. The problem is on how you set up your trade. Now let's go to settings. Let's go to settings. Okay, let me explain. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, keep your first buying amount depending on your capital. Keep your first buying amount depending on your capital. Keep your first buying amount depending on your capital. I don't know how many times I can repeat this. Some of you want to become rich tomorrow morning. They send a signal. You get your all $200 and put it at your first buying amount. I'm increasing my voice because it annoys me. Then someone stays in floating loss for the very first time. Other leaders, what do they teach their people? They tell them, I want you to make a good profit. For the first time, enter with $100 like this. So that When you see you're going to be getting 2% of what? Of $100. Unfortunately, instead of the market rising 2%, the market gets down. And the strategy can no longer work. Please keep your first buying amount depending on your capital. Me, I'm not the one who refused you to have enough money. But unless you don't listen, some of you are in floating loss for years. You have even refused to do Royalq because you are in floating loss for years. Why do you get into floating loss? It's because you start with all your capital. Someone has $500. They put all their $500 in the first buying amount. All their capital gets stuck. They stay there like they don't understand where they come from. They forget everything. They don't continue doing the business because they're in floating loss. Why? Because you put all your capital to be bought at the first time. I have a question and I need an answer. If I had put all my money in this coin, now look, ladies and gentlemen. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let me go back to this coin. Today I decided to be practical. Look at the floating loss now. Imagine I had put all my capital in this coin. Look at the floating loss right now. Look at the floating loss. If I had put $1,000, this negative 1.2% would be too much floating loss. Please, 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 stop being greedy. Oh, ladies, the reason why most of you don't make profit per day is because you trade with all your capital. This is this account. I just use it for training. But let us see how it is performing in the market. With a capacity of only $200, no emotions, no touches, no feelings, starting small, opening up margin calls, and starting with $15 and making money. Is this bad trading? There's only one day that it didn't make money. Is this bad trading? May I have a question for you, someone listening to me now? Am I poor? Is this account poorly trading? This is my training account. No, is this account with $200 poorly trading? Is it poorly trading? Oh, that I'm doing very badly with my $200 here, I'm doing very badly. Is this a poorly trading account? Now, why do you, for you? Why for you? Are you wanting to become rich tomorrow with your $200? Then you stay in floating loss for a very long time. Then you start complaining to people outside there that Royalq is a bad business. It's you who is the problem. It is you. It is not the robot. It is you. Maybe then people say the signals don't deliver. The signals deliver. It's you who trades the signals in a wrong way. It is not the signals that have a problem. It is you who trades the signals in a wrong way. You want a shortcut to becoming rich. It is you who's trading the signals in a wrong way. You want to be rich tomorrow morning. So you want 2% of $200. Please understand that in trading, the impatient give back the money to the patient. I trade calmly. I don't have emotions attached to my trades. I set my margin calls. I set my margin calls and I remain patient. And that's what I want to emphasize. on Monday, when I break the strategy, I want it to work out for you because you are doing things in the right way. Now, I'm done with the first buying amount. I'm going to expound it there later. The margin call limit, I would personally recommend in the USDT market 5 margin calls. Hey, my take profit here is 2%. 5 margin calls. I'll explain later. Now, the take profit, this one, and the take profit callback. What does take profit mean? What does take profit mean? Even me using $200, my brother, I trade one coin. What does trading callback means? The market rises from here. It rises by 2%. When the market falls down by this 0.3, your robot will sell. It means your take profit will be 1.7. Now, some people here, you have a problem. I'm sorry to attack you. You set your robot, then you come on our groups. I see it is at 2%. Why is my robot not selling? I see it is at 5%. I want my profit. Why does the robot not to sell? Please, 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 get emotions out of business. The robot is seeing it can give you more profit. There is a guy here, I don't know whether he's here. Let me find out. Hori from Cameroon, are you here? This guy traded a coin called ICP. I don't know. There's a certain leader from Cameroon. He traded a coin called ICP with only $15. And this coin gave him $8 in profit. Are you here, sir? If you are here, you could give me some thumbs up. I don't know if he's here. He traded a coin called ICP with only $15. And the take profit was only 3%. And this coin went high of ICP. I think it gave him around 20% take profit. And that is when the robot sold. I don't know whether he's here. My brother, are you here? Let me find out. Get to my chat. Let me know. Let me know. Let me just find out if it is on. He's on Discord. Just a minute. Let me chat him. Let me chat him. I don't know if he's here. Are you on Zoom? Just a minute. Let me find out. Okay, let me continue. He seems not to be here. Just a minute. Okay, yeah, said he's on the call. Okay, let me just get him. Here. Okay, let me lower all your hands down. Okay, maybe you can share at the end. Because of time, I have less minutes. This guy traded one coin with only $15. His take profit was 3%. And he made over $8 in profit on one coin with a 3% take profit. The coin went higher than his current price, than his take profit. With only $15. I think he can share in the chat if he's here. One coin. And he was able to win. If he's available, you could share in the chat. So let's get back to setting up your robot, an important aspect for the success of your business. Okay, now, this area here. As the market is trying to move, as the market is trying to move up, please, you can put here, let me say 2 point, if you put here maybe 2.03, this means that when the market rises, or when you put here 2.3, it means that your take profit will be 2% because the robot will move 2.3 minus 0.3. This will be a 0. So you'll get 2%. Here, you'll get 2%. But your robot will only sell when the market comes down by this price. Now, that's what I've done with the take profit. As we take profit here, as we take profit there, this works from margin call number 1, margin call number 2, margin call number 3, margin call number 4 only. This works for margin call number 1, margin call number 2, margin call number 3 up to 4 only. Now let's go to this area. Distributed take profit allocation. This area also works for take profit. What about take profit of 0.01? Okay, let me do this. If I put here 2.01 and I put here 0.01, it means that I want my robot to sell faster. So when the market rises by 2% and falls down by 0.01, my robot will sell and my take profit will be 2%. But when I put here a higher, let me say 0.3, I'm increasing my chances of more profit than I have set. Which means that when the market rises, maybe I put here 2.3, when the market rises by 2.3 and tries to fall down by 0.3, that will be my profit. So the market has chances that if it goes by 20% and it doesn't fall down by 0.3, my robot will give me more profit than I had said to take. Okay, let me come here because of time. I want to get my last part. Here, distributed take profit allocation. Distributed take profit allocation. This works for margin call number 5 up to margin call 999. Margin call number 5 up to margin call 999. Point to note, make sure your distributed take profit allocation is lower than the whole position take profit. Make sure your distributed take profit allocation is lower than the whole position take profit. Let me go here. If I keep it 1.3, I'm good to go. Please, I can even lower it down to 1.1. Then I needed to also lower this because this is high also. Maybe I keep it there. I don't want to, I'll get around 0.9 something profit. You just get to know that, just get this minus this one. What you get will be your profit, which will be 1.1 minus 0.2. It's around 0.8% that I will get as profit. So usually subtract this one minus this one. And if you want to know this one, just get this one minus this one. You'll understand how much profit you will get. Now, we are done with the take profit, okay? If you're okay with the take profit settings, if you're okay with the take profit settings, if you're okay with your take profit settings, I want now to go to the margin call configuration. If you're okay with the take profit settings, type for me a 1 in the chat. Let's go to margin call configuration. If you're okay with, some people are not paying attention to what I'm teaching, they're paying attention to their questions only. Yet, if they understand, they can trade better. As this has been recorded, please, I don't have time now to repeat. Let's just come to the end. Okay, so let's go to the margin call configuration. The margin call configuration has two parts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Because of time now. The margin call configuration also has two areas: the margin configuration and the buy-in callback. The margin configuration and the buy-in callback. When does the robot buy? When does the robot buy? It is important for you to know. When does the robot buy? On Monday, I'm going to show you how to get perfect margin calls. Hey, so if you don't pay attention here, Monday will be useless because I will not repeat all this stuff. So take off your whole weekend, watch the video, understand this by yourself, all right? Okay, let's go to margin configuration. Let's go to margin configuration. Okay, 5 margin calls is our standard for the USDT market. 5 margin calls is our standard for the USDT market. Let me use this example. If the first call has 3.5, this means that when the market falls by 3.5, what will happen, Julius? Let me just go back. What will happen is this, ladies and gentlemen. When the market falls by 3.5, when the market falls by 3.5, what will happen? On your screen here, let me first get off this first. Just excuse me. Okay, let me start my trade. My robot was supposed to buy. Okay, just a minute. Okay, let me first, just a minute. When the market falls by 3.5, sorry for that. When the market falls by 3.5, this means that when the market falls by 3.5, this means when the market falls by 3.5, when should the robot buy? The robot will only buy, for this case, I don't know why it's not listening to my instructions. I need to edit. When the robot will only buy when the market falls by 3.5, like this, when it tries to rise by 0.2, which means the robot will buy when this is at 3.7, a total of 3.7. Can I repeat? Let me go back here to my setting. When the market falls, let me use this by 0.5. When will the robot buy? The buy-in callback is 0.2, which means that when the market falls by 0.5 and rises by 0.2, this is when the robot will buy here. So the drop plus the rise is 0.7. Now people ask me, my robot is not buying. My robot is not buying. Even if the market falls by 0.5 and it doesn't rise by 0.2, the robot will not buy. Type a 1 in the chat if you have understood that. And the people are replying you so many times. They are telling you one coin with your $100. So I hope we're okay with the margin call configuration. The margin call configuration has an area of the margin call drop, which means when the market drops by 3.5 and rises by 0.2, the robot will buy. So this depends on the margin call drop given. I will not go into that. Now let me go to this side. This determines how much capital you have. Because most of you don't have trading capital, I'll stick to Team Crypto Ambassadors. We are gonna go to the Fibonacci. It is good because most of you don't have capital. Mm. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. This is what we call the Fibonacci. So when we send a signal, the Fibonacci will work for you because most of you don't have trading capital. Now let me talk about this. This means 2 times 15, 3 times 15, 5 times 15, 8 times 15, 13 times 15. Let's go to our calculator. I'm coming to the end. 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8. The 4 margin calls plus 13 plus 1, which is the first buying amount, is 32. 32, if you use 15 as your first buying amount, you need $480. When you use this, you'll never suffer with too much floating loss. The margin call drop, we shall not go into that because it depends on the coin you are trading. Although we can still use 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 1 for margin calls. If you are still suffering with a lot of little capital, times 15. If you have $285, you can still set up the 4 margin calls. I'll keep our trading strategy to Fibonacci. 5 margin calls are basic, but if you cannot make 5 margin calls, please at least make sure you are able to create 4 margin calls minimum. But the basic is 5, which is 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13, which is 31, plus 1, which is 32, times 15 as your first buying amount, $480. One coin. One coin. One coin. 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13 plus 1, the first buying amount, times 15, your first buying amount, $480. One coin. If you cannot afford this, you can do this 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 1 times 15, $285 for one coin. So if you can raise your first buying amount to $20, minimum times 19 is $380 a coin minimum. $380. If you can raise your first buying amount to $25 times 19 minimum, $475 per coin minimum. If you can raise your first buying amount to $30 times 19 minimum, is $570 for one coin. If you can raise $50 as your first buying amount, times 19 minimum is $950 for one coin. But the basic, I want 5, which is 15. If you don't want to suffer with issues, FTX has collapsed. La market is down. You want to be winning all the time. The best way is 15 times 32, which is $480 for one coin. If you go for $30 as your first buying amount, times 32 is $960 for one coin. If you can go $50 times 32 is $1,600 for one coin. What is the potential? What is the potential? If you only keep $15 as your first buying amount for 300 days, ladies and gentlemen, after those days, you'll have made $6,461 in profit. If you keep your first buying amount $50 as your first buying amount, after a full 300 days, you will be able to have $354,873. If you keep your first buying amount as $100, you'll be able to make $700,000. Now, someone asking me, you must open 32 margin calls. I really don't understand you. We have added the margin call drop. 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13. Then we have added 1, which is the first buying amount. Multiplied it by our first buying amount, $15. Multiply it by our first buying amount, which could be 50. Multiply it by our first buying amount, which could be 100. Use that strategy. You'll be winning all your trades and getting out of your trades with calmness. Because the market will always go down and your trades will always be safe all the time, ladies and gentlemen. The take profit depends on the signal dropped in the group. But in our coming money training, I'll show you the take profit. The take profit is 3%. 3%. I'll show you how. I'll come here with Coach Musa and other leaders and show you how you can use that strategy to find a good trade or use the signals in the group and always be making profit all the time. Thank you so much for your time. It has been 2 straight hours of being here. God bless you. You can watch this again. Make sure you understand and make sure you are trading. This strategy has wallet management procedures, perfect ways you can prevent floating loss, and not exposing all your capital and be winning all the time, right? Winning all the time. Can you explain the margin call configuration for $280? No, we can, by the way, we can edit depending on your capital. Hey, we can edit depending on your capital, but I stick on the strategy. I stick on the strategy. You see how margin calls work? I started with $15. Now, 2 margin calls, floating loss brought down, bringing average price close at the current price, and sooner than later, I'll be in floating profit. Now, for you, you put all your money once, you float forever, and you start complaining. This is the strategy. The minimum you can use are 4 margin calls if you don't have money. How, Julius? Margin call, multiple. I'm only explaining this. I'm only explaining because this depends on the coin you're trading. And this is always given as a drop. I'm explaining this. This only. This only. It is 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 minimum. Plus the first buying amount 1 minimum. This times 15 is 285. 4 margin calls minimum is what you can do. 4 minimum. 4 minimum. 4 minimum. 4 minimum. Minimum 4, you are good. Minimum 4, you are good. Depending on the drop given. But if you want to be safe, even when FTX collapses, news here, news there, 5 margin calls is safe for you. The margin call drop depends on the coin. That one doesn't matter. That one is on the drop. If they give you the drop of the coin is 5, is 4. The drop is 4. Divide this into 5. Then put 0.8, 0.8 into all. If they say the drop is 5, divide by 5. 1%, 1%. That's all with the margin call drop. Can you put the sub mint? 5 margin calls. Me, I recommend 5. I say unless things are not good for you, you can do 4 and put in the sub-bin mode. If you have 4 margin calls, you cannot come in the sub-bin mode. I recommend 5 sub-bin mode. You'll be safe. You'll be making money. You'll be consistent. You'll be reliable. Simple. You don't have money, find capital. Shared opportunity. Hey, me, I'm sorry, I'm straight. You don't have capital, share the opportunity, have capital. Share with 4 people, get $120. Enough is enough with people who are 100% weak. Enough is enough, right? You don't have money, you want to trade only. It is impossible. Devote capital. Then talk about trading, right? When you use $10, you will buy less quantity. And sometimes you may get abnormal operation. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for today. God bless you. And I would basically think it could be a right moment to thank you for attending. I hope I've done my best. You could be able to watch this again by yourself, with yourself. And I believe you could, the airdrop, eh? Okay, let me give. I'm not sure about it, but I think it can work out.